Hello and welcome to today's news on Vanguard Live. My name is Damilola Ogunshakin. Let's go straight to the front pages of the dailies this morning. I'm starting with Vanguard. Vanguard is leading with protest over high prices. No food shortage in Nigeria. That's coming from federal government. Please with major commodity traders to make available what's in their stores. President directs committee to take immediate action to arrest situation. Tinubu returns from France. You can see that story on page 4 and others still on page 4. Now on page 9, insecurity. Tinubu orders security agencies to curb criminal activities. Govt tackles EFCC over 80 billion naira fraud charges against the ex-governor Bello. You can see that on page 4. And according to Afe Babalola, since the bedrock of any society is education, the government must lend its full support to all tertiary institutions in Nigeria without any discrimination whatsoever. Edo Guba, respect zoning principle, Obaseki, Shomole told. You can see that on page 21. On page 6, kidnapping. Police nab suspected octogenarian kingpin over Ekiti, Kwara killings. Labour protest at NAFDAC over ban on alcoholic beverages in sachets. Stories above on page 19. Petrol queues emerge in Lagos and environs. Stabilising naira, tax for all Nigerians. That's according to CARDOSO. Says Nigeria spent $40 billion on school, medical tourism, 10 years. As relocation of some CBN department to Lagos, not political. Lastly, on Vanguard newspaper on sports, it's going to be very tough against Nigeria. That's coming from Torre. Osimhen now fit to play. You can see that story on page 29 and 31 of Vanguard newspaper. Now the Punch. Punch is leading with Nigerians spent $98 billion on foreign troops, education in 10 years. That's according to CBN. CBN says it can't stabilize exchange rate alone, puts annual food import at $15 billion. Senate Thomas CARDOSO graced CBN governor Friday over forex crisis and economic challenges. You can see that on page 4. And the stories below, the government vows end to insecurity as NAF unveils attack helicopters. Killer kidnappers free slain choir monarch's wife, 13 suspects nabbed. You can see that on pages 4 and 5. Dangote release refinery fertilizers companies. That's according to NGX group chair. Stories above the banner, Tinubu returns, other emergency meeting on food crisis. Naira weakens at official market. Banks sell at $584 million. You can see that on page 19. Now the nation is leading with federal government. Our economic policies yielding fruit. Edu, we are improving living standard. Bagudu explains revenue targets. How we are bringing down inflation by CARDOSO. More palliative for vulnerable Nigerians. And there are two quotes here. The first is, as of yesterday, the volume of transactions in our market was over $844 million. End of quote. The second says that these measures should stimulate growth, foster innovation, and uplift the lives of every Nigerian. End of quote. Government to release food items from reserve to crush prices. Tinubu special panel swings into action. You can see that on page 2. Amotekun arrest 149 in Ondo. You can see that on pages 6 and 5. Stories above the banner, Nigerians spend $40 billion on foreign, education and health care. Kogi money not missing, state government tells EFCC. And lastly on the Nation newspaper, no petrol supply issues, says NNPCL. You can see that on page 7. Now the Guardian is leading with inflation, price hike push and egg a day diet beyond Nigerians' reach. You can see that on page 6. Regional groups in coup on hardship failure of democracy. Bishops and Northern elders lament rising inflation, hardship and insecurity. Nigeria, Burkina Faso, 4 others to experience food crisis till May 2024. Lagos TUC others protest ban on sachet alcohol, cites potential 500,000 job loss. NNPCL spends 267.98 billion naira on security as oil operators struggle. Lastly, on the Guardian newspaper, MOUAU shuts down, orders immediate vacation of students from campus. You can see that on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. And that's all we have on the front pages of the dailies this morning. Join us after the break for the analysis. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Today News on Vanguard Live. My name is Damola Ogunshaki. Joining me to analyze the front pages of the dailies this morning is Mr. Gbinro Olajigbe. He's the Executive Director of Emergency and Risk Alert. Good morning, Mr. Gbinro.
Good morning. It's a pleasure being with you.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And now let's move straight to the stories and the papers this morning. Now, on Monday, a group of women in Minna, near Niger State, blocked the ever-busy Minna Road and called on the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address the problem of hunger in the land. And yesterday, the Chief of Staff to the President, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, met behind closed doors with NSA and some ministers at the Presidential Villa Abuja over the food security and protest in some of the states. What's your take on this, on the protest and the meeting behind closed doors?
Well, the protest is so long overdue because Nigeria are going through a lot, particularly food insecurity is real in Nigeria. Many people go to bed hungry even without one square meal in a day. It's unacceptable. It's very difficult for Nigeria to access food. It's very difficult for Nigeria to equally purchase food, even where they can access it. So it's extremely expensive, out of reach of many people. So it's a question of, if you don't want to die, shout out, cry out. I think the protest is just a reflection of the time. And many Nigerians, not only in Niger State, are going through that. Almost all over the country, we are going through that type of excruciating hunger that needs intervention. But palliative is not the way to go. In my write-up yesterday on what President Bola Tinubu should do, I highlighted that the quickest win, the quick win that President Tinubu can do now, that is the low-hanging fruit, is for him to dedicate at least 300,000 barrels of oil for local refining through Dangote and make it not beyond 250 naira per liter at the filling station. That will affect or translate into reduction in cost of food item, basic necessity. So that is just the issue now, and that is what they should urgently do.
But according to the presidency, Nigerians still enjoy the lowest cost of living in Africa.
That is insult upon the people of Nigeria for him to say so. The same man that pushed Nigeria into this level of poverty. Do you know the weight of naira with other African countries' currency? I think they should not provoke people further. That is unacceptable. That is mockery of what people of Nigeria are going through. It's insensitive, highly insensitive. If that statement is was actually made, what type of comparison is that? These are people that are blinded the executive from seeing the pain of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, it's on the street. Anywhere you go, you can take photographs of poverty. You can take photographs of harrowing and excruciating pain of the people. You can take photograph of misery. You can take photograph of hunger on the streets of Nigeria. So you don't need to be told, even as a president, for somebody to be doing comparative analysis on the situation that is claiming life and making people to fall sick without remedy, exacerbating insecurity, is height of insensitivity.
But despite this protest that is going on, APC, they've seen it as political. because they've accused the opposition of instigating the protest against President Tinubu admission. They said it's in the guise of protesting against the increasing cost of living in the country.
Are they not a government? So they don't have the name of the people, the opposition people that are leading the protest. Didn't they, assuming that it's even political, didn't they lead protest against Jonathan? These people never prepare to do anything in government. It's just to wreck Nigeria, to diminish the citizen of Nigeria, incapacitate them, and enable their power to resist oppression that they have purported, they have planned to place on them. I think it's a sort of grave undertaking they have decided to place on the people so that people continue to wallow in poverty and become less resistant to obnoxious governance that is going on now.
So what do you say about APC's policy, I mean this current administration policy?
How can you work when it's manufacturing poverty? How can you work when it's manufacturing killings, kidnap, and sundry insecurity? What policy do they have? They have no policy, they have no plan to govern, and that is why they are coming up with excuses, blame, and everything. You could see the statement of CARDOSO, the CBN governor, saying that he blaming people paying school fees abroad. Who are these people paying school fees? Is it the ordinary people that are paying? And he's talking of 10 years. Why is he not talking of 10 years of misery the government of APC have unleashed on Nigeria? Why is he not talking of humongous stealing that is going on, looting of the of common patrimony as part of what is diminishing naira and strengthening other currency against naira? Why is he not talking about inexplainable importation of refined petroleum in the last 10 years of the administration, in the last 9 years of the administration, and their inability to refine even a drop in Nigeria? And he's blaming people who are sending their children to school abroad. Who are these people? Are they not the public servant stealing money? The poor man has not been able to pay for Nigerian university. Are they the ones sending themselves for medical treatment abroad? The president has not shown leadership in that respect. He has been visiting hospital abroad and so many public servants and officials. He's not talking of humongous looting like the case of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs that is going on.
Do you think we can currently end the food insecurity in the country with the insecurity that is currently going on in the country, because farmers are scared to even visit their farms?
The quickest win is for you to reduce, to refine, dedicate a percentage of oil production to local refinery and then sell it at the pump price of not higher than 250. Invariably, cost of items will come, basic item will come down, and possibly that will contribute to reduction of crimes and criminalities, including insecurity, sundry insecurity that have been pushed off by the unacceptable high cost of living.
All right, we talked about the policies, and the federal government yesterday, they painted a positive economic picture of the days ahead. Now, they said the policies of the current administration are yielding fruits. Hello, can you hear me?
That is across which fruit? How do you count your fruit? When it's obvious that people are going to bed hungry. Can you see the lamentation across Lagos? Just take Lagos. The price of fish, a one single fish, 2,000. Have you ever bought in 1 year for 3,000 in Nigeria before? So what type of fruit is he talking of? Fruit of insecurity, fruit of misery, fruit of poverty, fruit of impunity. Maybe that is what we call fruit of insensitivity. Maybe those are the one is referring to. There's no positive fruit that have yielded. The money made is being looted. Is that fruit? The money made, even from the removal of subsidy, what have they done with it? Aside from looting and then using it to address the social consequences of the same issue. So where is the benefit? Naira falling like having a free fall in the market. Is that benefit to buy dollar for 1,500 naira? These people are just callous and they are not sincere. That is why somebody could be doing this. And like I said, they should stop provoking the citizens of this country. It's not good. When you are not doing well, you can assure that things will get better. You should stop doing statistics for people that are falling down and dying of hunger on the street. What manner of callousness is that? It's reading out statistics. That is what you call politics or statistics, but it's even annoying because it's not contextual. It doesn't fit into the environment that the statistics is addressing. So when you go to market now and you buy modules of gari, you will know whether there is fruit, whether anything is bearing fruit. Or you go to buy bag of rice for 65 to 70,000 naira, you will know whether the economic policy is bearing fruit.
Looking at
So these people have nothing to offer. And that is what they are telling Nigerians by making outlandish, unverifiable claim of success when they have outrightly, almost irredeemably failed.
looking at the things going on in the streets of Nigeria, now, will you say the government cut off from the citizens because
Even from what you have read out now, they are not in contact with citizens, they are not in contact with situation. This government is blindfolded, particularly the presidency, maybe by some people who have pecuniary interest in telling the president what he wants to hear, rather than telling him what is the reflection of the town, what is the situation on the street. That is what we are getting. So obviously, these are people deceiving those in government and power for their own selfish ends. How can somebody be talking of Nigeria that is under a very grave threat of insecurity, threat of famine, that things are getting better, that economic indicators is telling you that we are improving, when all realities are pointing to the fact that we are on the precipice, edge of precipice.
Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. CARDOSO, yesterday told members of the House of Representatives that the task of stabilizing the naira is the responsibility of all Nigerians. As a Nigerian, what do you think about this?
So it's all Nigeria that is governor of Central Bank. They have very bad policy. Who did Tinubu consult before removing oil subsidy? Did they consult Nigeria? Created all this problem. Now they are talking of parents sending their children to school. How much is that? He said and he was clever by half in his analysis that 40 billion over the past 10 years. Are we talking? Is naira like this in the last 10 years? 2 years ago was naira like this. 3 years ago was naira to dollar like this. They should talk about the government they are destroying and what has exacerbated the Nigerian economy. That is the concern, and they should stop roping others. If they want to criticize Buhari or Jonathan, they should come out and say it clearly. Let them measure from time they took over power and what Nigeria has become today. Petroleum price, petrol price was less than 200 naira when this character less than 7 months ago, and now over close to 700 naira. And somebody is doing 10 years analysis that is outrageously trying to be clever by half.
So who should we blame for the fall of the naira?
who do you blame than the president whose economic policy has crippled opportunity, that has increased poverty, that ignited the closure of companies and factories, including small-scale industries, because of high cost of living, that has made our economy unsustainable, production unprofitable, and of course, market unaccessible, particularly to the poor.
All right, so before you go, I just want you to quickly answer this question. Now, a question came up on social media yesterday where people were talking about the 5 naira note, the 10 naira note, and the 20 naira note not being used in the community. Even the 50 naira notes can just purchase little things. So what do you think about these?
And what happens is that when that is a sign, a signal that the economy is in dire strait. When the economy is in deep shit, lower currencies have no meaning again. If you go to US today, UK today, you will still spend your pence. You will still spend your pence. If you go to even Ghana, they still use their pasewa. Not only Cedi, but here, naira has not even found space to stay. You are talking of kobo. What are you going to buy with 10 naira today? What are you going to buy with all those 20 naira again? There was a time in Nigeria, 20 naira was the highest currency denomination in Nigeria. That was the most glorious period in Nigerian recent history. So they have bastardized the economy, and that is a sign that the economy is in trouble. When you notice disappearance of low currency.
Let's end this on a lighter note with Mr. and Mrs. this morning. And the first person speaking this morning is Mr. Mr. says, the new lady resumed in our company today. She's very humble. She attracted everyone to herself. Her name is Margaret. And Mrs. replied, more like magnet to me.
Well, whatever it is, let them just enjoy themselves with their fun and leave Nigeria out of it. How they ready do? So Mr. and Mrs. should just keep their jokes to their own now. When you joke too much now in Nigeria, you can find yourself in trouble. So let us just, whether it's Margaret, whether it's Margaret, whatever it is, let us just take it and accept ourselves and move on.
All right, thank you for joining us this morning.
It's a pleasure being with you. Thank you.
Yes. Do you want to like and follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, our website www.vanguardngr.com. Follow you to get more of our top stories. My name is Damola Okunshaki. Have a lovely Wednesday.